Alright, today we're going to talk about AIO, logic implementation. AOI, in case you forgot, is and, or, inverter. So what we're going to take is those expressions, those logic expressions that we got from the truth tables. Like if you look down here at the bottom, you can see the A and B, or not B and not C. And we're going to take that and we're going to learn how to put that into an actual circuit schematic that we can then use to build the circuit. Now to start out on this, we're going to implement these using, at first, multiple input gates, and then we're going to break this down into what it looks like with 2 input gates, which is going to be kind of important because on Multisim Live, I believe the only option is the 2 input gates. So we'll start out just because it's easier to do with the multiple input gates, more than 2 there in those cases, and then we're going to break it down into gates that only have 2 inputs. So here's our first example, and I have my gates lined up down the side in case you didn't notice those over there. We'll copy and paste those because it's a little bit easier to do than to try to draw them out. They don't always look right when I draw them out by hand, so a little OCD on this one. But anyhow, so for example, this is the circuit we're going to create this time. The Boolean logic statement up here, the logic expression, would read not A and B and not C and D, or B and C and not D, or A and not B. All right, so for that first part there, or the first part we should look at is which ones have inverters on them. So like A has an inversion, C has an inversion, D has an inversion, and even B has an inversion. So we're going to need an inverter for each one of those. Okay, so if we take my inverter here, and let's see if I can copy it a couple times. All right, now I have 4 inverters, one for each one of those inputs. So I'm going to start out here, and I'm just going to create a dot for where each input is coming in. Now this could represent, in this case, a switch or something else. We're kind of leaving off that end there, trying to uncomplicate the circuit, I guess, in a way, so that it's not too much going on here when we're first starting out. So this dot here represents the input coming from A. It could be, like I said, a switch, a sensor, whatever's going on here. This one's going to be B, then we'll have C, and you probably guessed it, D comes last. All right. So we have all of our inputs. Now for each one of those inputs, I need an inverter, okay? Because I'm going to have A, and I'm going to have not A. I'm going to have B, and I'm going to have not B. I'm going to have C, and I'm going to have not C. And I need one more of those. All right, perfect. And we have D and not D. All right, so I'm going to use a little iPad magic here. I'm going to draw in these lines here, and then I'm going to kind of poof, they're going to appear here. All right, so now I have all my inputs set up, and if you look at each one of these, what we have going on here is this wire here will represent A. This guy will represent not A. This guy will represent B. This one will represent not B, because we have whatever the input from B is then going through this inverter here, and when it comes out, it'll be not B. So then we have C, not C, D, not D. All right, so there's all the different variations we have now after we send it through the inverter. Now, if there's not A or not C or whatever in the expression, we don't need to run it through an inverter. Okay, so, or if we don't need just A, we don't have to have that wire there that just represents just A. I think in this scenario, I think we need them all. We have an A, we have a not A, we have a B, we have a not B, C, not C, D, not D. Yeah, we need them all. All right, so now what we're going to do is looking at this SOP statement. It's SOP, by the way, because each one of these is a product. Now, just like in multiplication in algebra class, we don't draw the product symbol in there. We leave it out like 2x. We don't put the product symbol in between there, multiplication. Okay. However, in this case, the product symbol represents and. Okay, so we have 3 products, okay, and we have the sum of those products. So you see the summation signs here, and those will be your sums, okay? So we have a sum of products, so SOP, and in a minute we'll deal with POS. So looking at that first product there that I have a line over, okay, how many inputs are involved in that first product? Okay, you'll see that it has 4 inputs, not A, B, not C, and D. So, and of course this is a product, so that's and, not A, and B, and so on and so forth. So what I need in this scenario is this guy right here, my 4 input and, all right? So I'm trying to cut them out here. There we go. So we're going to need this guy right here. And I'm going to go ahead and wire this guy, and then I'll show you what I've done. All right, so here we are looking at the 4 input AND gate. All right, the first input is wired to not A. The second input's wired to B. The third input's wired to not C. And the last input's wired to D. So this would produce not A, B, or and B, and not C, and D. Now, of course, we need to create our next product, which is this guy here. And so we need a 3 input AND for that, because as you can see, we have 3 inputs, B, C, and not D. So let's see what that looks like. All right, now we're looking at the 3 input AND gate wired in here, as you can see, so that we can match that middle product up there. We have B wired into the first input, C to the next, and D, not D, is wired into the last input to create B and C and not D. All right, and then the last one we need to create here would be this guy here. As far as the products are concerned, the last one we need to create is A, not B. So we have 2 inputs there, so we need a 2 input AND gate. Let's see what that one looks like. All right, here it is with the last AND gate on there. And you can see we have the input of A and not B, and the output will be A and not B. Now, of course, here comes the part where we actually have to put in the summation notation. And first, let me fix this. Somehow my A got dropped there. We're just going to write them back in. But see those sums again? Those are our ORs. Okay, so we have the first product, or the second product, or the third product. So that would be an OR with 3 inputs coming from the 3 AND gates. So once we put in our 3 input OR gate, this will be our final circuit producing the logic expression that we have up at the top. And you can run a logical analysis, which I've run mostly on this already, and you will see the outcome is the same. Now, with that being said, unfortunately, Multisim Live does not have 3 input and 4 input AND gates, nor 3 input OR gates. So this all has to be done on Multisim Live using 2 input or AND gates, which is also how I would have done it on the regular Multisim. So it's not a big deal. So I'm going to have to do a conversion here. So basically what you do is you stack the gates to create the AND and OR gates with multiple inputs. Now this is drawn out a little bit differently, but it is the same circuit essentially, where the first, let me see if I can get a highlighter here for you. That first 4 input AND gate has been replaced by this guy right here. So it's 2 AND gates going into another AND gate to create, if you see off the back, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 inputs there. All right, and then our 3 input AND gate has been replaced by that guy, and the 2 input AND gate still remains just the 2 input AND gate. And our 3 input OR gate has been replaced by 2 of them stacked to create a total of 1, 2, 3 inputs there. All right, now this does the same thing as the other circuit. It does require more gates, but it's a little easier for us to design at this level and create. All right, so let's look at some POS. So a POS stands for product of sums. I'm guessing you didn't see that coming. For the first one we designed, we will use the 4 input, 3 input, 2 input gates, and then we'll simplify it just like we did with the SOP. These are less common for us to use in this course. These come from the zeros on the truth table on the outputs. These are called max terms rather than min terms when you have the zeros there. So we don't use these as frequently in this course, but it's still good for you to know how to simplify them, and your teacher may talk to you about them later in class. So just kind of describe why this is a product of sums. Is you can notice the large groups this time. We have 3 of them here. Our large groups are our sums here. Okay, so each group is a sum of the variables, and then in between each group you have a product. Technically there's a product there, so it's a product of the sums there. All right, now we start out much the same way with our inverters on this one. So we would look at it, we got a W, we've got a not W, we've got not X and X. We only have a not Y though, so we won't need an inverter there, but we won't need a Y input coming in. So we can just run that straight in. And then we have, let's see, a Z and a not Z. All right, so let's see what this looks like when we set up the inverters. All right, so here it is with the inverters now. And notice, like I said down here, we don't have any need for Y and not Y. So we only have not Y. That's the only thing that's being used in here. Okay, so at this point, after we've created the inverters, we're going to look at the first sum. And in the first sum, you notice we have 4 inputs. We have W, not X, not Y, and Z. All right, so we need, and remember, the sum is OR gate, so that's actually read W or not X, or not Y, or Z. So we need a 4 input AND gate for this one. Let's see what that looks like. So here is our 4 input AND gate, OR gate, with the correct inputs wired, W, not X, not Y, and Z, to produce the first sum. So looking at the next one we're going to do here, if you have to pause, that's fine. But if you look at the next one, it's going to have 3 inputs. So we're going to use a 3 input OR for this guy. So here's the next one with the 3 input OR. And we have the correct inputs here. We have not W, X, and not Y to create the second sum in our product of sums. All right, and if you look at the last guy here, the last one is W or not Z. So we only have 2 inputs. We can just use the usual 2 input OR. And that's what the 2 input OR would look like. And to finish this guy off, we have 3 different summations. 1, 2, 3, that are going to be put into a product together. So that's an AND gate, right? So we have 3 inputs going into our AND gate. So we need a 3 input AND. And here is what our final circuit will look like with that 3 input AND. And again, if you follow logical analysis, you'll find that this circuit is equivalent to the Boolean algebra logic expression given up there as F2. All right. Now, just as before, unfortunately, we don't have these 4 input, 3 input gates. So we're going to simplify this to a 2 input situation, 2 input ORs, 2 input AND gates. All right, so let's see what that looks like. All right, so just like before, this simplifies pretty much the same way. We have these 4 guys here grouped together. I know my inverters look a little bit different. They bring them down vertically, but it's the same thing. But this is my 4 input OR gate, and you'll notice we have our 4 inputs there. All right, and we have our 3 input OR gate, and we have our 1, 2, 3 inputs there. And then finally, as before, we had our 2 input OR gate. And then if we look over here, the last one we have is our 3 input AND gate, and there is our 1, 2, 3 inputs. So this is equivalent to the circuit we looked at before, it just uses more gates. One thing to talk about is rather than doing a stack of 3, okay, here we could just continue and add another one in a pattern like that, but it's better actually to do it the way we have up here, because if it runs through those first 2 gates at the same time, we create less of a delay in our circuit, because the more gates it has to run through, it actually delays the signal. It's by nanoseconds, it's not a whole lot, but the more gates you add in, the more it becomes delayed, and that can cause issues with things lining up together as they go into later gates. So it's best to use this method where the first 2 gates are next to each other going into the 3rd gate, rather than stack them in a situation where we have 4 inputs. All right? So that's it for this. Again, go back, look at it, pause it whenever you need. If you're still stuck, ask your teachers. But I think you guys are ready to go. Good luck.